Alright, so in this problem, I have 100 to the power of x is equal to 200. So I'm going to find the value of x here. So for my solution, first start with 100 to the power of x is equal to 200. And now I'm going to take the log on both sides. So now I have log 100 to the power of x is equal to log 200. Now if I have something in the form log a to the power of b, this is the same thing as I can actually move this exponent b to the front. So this is going to equal b times log a. So in this case, log 100 to the power of x, I can move x to the front. So now I have x times log 100 is equal to log 200. Now, I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by log 100. So log 100 and log 100, these two cancel out. So now I have x is equal to log 200 over log 100. Now log 200, I can rewrite as log of 100 times 2. And log 100, I can rewrite as log 10 squared. Now, if I have something in the form log of a times b, this is the same thing as log a plus log b. So now this is the same thing as log 100 plus log 2. And if I have something in the form log a to the power of b, this is the same thing as b times log a. So log 10 to the power of 2, that's the same thing as 2 times log 10. Now log 10, that's equal to 1. So now I have x is equal to log 100 plus log 2 over 2. And again, we have log 100 again, and that's again going to equal to 2. So I have 2 plus log 2 over 2. And this is the same thing as 2 over 2 plus log 2 over 2. 2 over 2 is obviously 1, so I have 1 plus log 2 over 2. Now we need to find the exact value of log 2, to which we can use a calculator. So if you use a calculator, you get that log 2 is 0.301, and I have that divided by 2. So now this is the same thing as 1 plus 0.1505. So now 1 plus 0.1505 is 1.1505. So this is my answer. Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of 6 minus x to the power of 3 is equal to 2. So to solve this, I'm going to first start by subtracting 2 on both sides. So now I have x to the power of 6 minus x to the power of 3 minus 2 is equal to 0. Now, I'm going to rewrite x to the power of 6 here as x to the power of 3 times 2. Now I have this minus x to the power of 3 minus 2 is equal to 0. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m times n, this is equal to a to the power of m to the power of n. So x to the power of 3 times 2, that's going to equal x to the power of 3 to the power of 2. Now I have this minus x to the power of 3 minus 2 is equal to 0. Now I'm going to let x to the power of 3 equal to the variable y. So if I replace y with x to the power of 3, I get y squared minus y minus 2 is equal to 0. So now to solve this, all I have to do is simply rewrite negative y here as negative 2y plus y. Now from here, if I factor out y from y squared minus 2y, I get y times y minus 2. And the greatest common factor of y and negative 2 is just 1. So I have 1 times y minus 2. And now if I factor out y minus 2 from this, I get y minus 2 times y plus 1 is equal to 0. So now this gives me two equations. I have y minus 2 is equal to 0, and I have y plus 1 is equal to 0. So for y minus 2 equals 0, y is obviously equal to 2. And for y plus 1 equals 0, y is equal to negative 1. So now remember how we let x to the power of 3 equal to y. So if x to the power of 3 is equal to y, and we have two solutions of y, we have y equals 2 and y equals negative 1. So I have x to the power of 3 is equal to 2. So to solve this, I'm going to take the cube root on both sides. The cube root of x to the power of 3 is x, and the cube root of 2, that's simply cube root of 2. So one solution of x is the cube root of 2. Now I have x to the power of 3 is equal to negative 1. And to solve this, again, I'm going to be taking the cube root on both sides. So now I have the cube root of x to the power of 3 is equal to the cube root of negative 1. Now again, the cube root of x to the power of 3, that's simply equal to x. And the cube root of negative 1, well, the cube root of a negative number is still going to be a negative number, so the cube root of negative 1 is negative 1. Alright, so in this problem, I have 0.2 to the power of x is equal to 2. So for this problem, I want to find the value of x. So for my solution, first start with 0.2 to the power of x is equal to 2. Now I'm going to take the log on both sides. So I have log 0.2 to the power of x is equal to log 2. And if I have something in the form log a to the power of b, I can actually move this exponent b here to the front. So this can equal b times log a. So in this case, I have log 0.2 to the power of x, and I can move x to the front. So now I have x times log 0.2 is equal to log 2. Now if I divide both sides by log 0.2, these two cancel out, and I get x is equal to log 2 over log 0.2. Now, if you notice here, log 0.2, well, that's the same thing as log of 2 over 10. And if I have something in the form log a over b, this is simply equal to log a minus log b. So in this case, a is 2 and b is 10. So I can rewrite this as x is equal to log 2 over log 2 minus log 10. Now, log 10, as we all know, is simply 1. So I have x is equal to log 2 over log 2 minus 1. Now, log 2, this is equal to 0.3010. So I have 0.3010 over 0.3010 minus 1. And now this is equal to 0.3010 over 0.6990. And finally, if I divide these two, I get that x is equal to, this is actually negative 0.6990. X is equal to negative 0.43.